which takes us to the last of those three teams on the big front porch there. USC Trojans getting it done with Clemson and LSU stepping back 38-27 tonight. A breakout night performance-wise by the quarterback. I also thought a breakout night by the coaching staff and Lincoln Riley, how they countered a lot of what Notre Dame is doing. Notre Dame really well coached. They just have a lot of recruiting work to do, and we talked about their struggles kind of going into the portal, being a private college. But regardless of all that, 438 yards of offense tonight. Caleb Williams, 18 for 22. And if you didn't see the highlights, I'm not really doing you justice. It honestly does look like some kind of weird mesh of a young Mahomes and then sometimes like a young Rodgers. It's like an 8th grader playing 6th graders. It's really what it is. Guys are trying to tag him and stop him and tackle him, and he'll run and stop and wait and then dash the last possible second. Nothing like he doesn't. There is no flinch to his game when he's playing out here. He's just like he's on loan from the NFL. Takes care of business. Hack, what was your biggest takeaway watching the Trojans tonight and Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I think Yogi touched on this last week, and he highlighted USC's last 3 games, and they've now passed 2 of those 3 tests. And to kind of talk about a team that's peaking at the right point in time in the season. It's a team that we always talked about. I always said I've never really seen them get out of second gear. They still got 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th to pull into and really pull away. And I think today they had to reach into the bag a little bit, and that bag was pretty much Caleb Williams. And you know, hey man, you're going to shoulder this, kind of like what you said. I'm not going to try to be as masterful with words as you were, George, because that was great. But he But this Notre Dame team came out and played really well. I think this is another team on the other side that really peaked well. I think Drew Pine came out and played a damn good game tonight,
Yes.
with the exception of the fumble and the interception that really killed him. And to me, the fact that Notre Dame played so well really positioned USC because it showed their growth, their maturity, and where they are right now as a program on a national stage for everybody to see. I think it's only going to bode well for them heading into the college football playoff and talking about this. And as long as they handle business next week, I think that they're going to be really positioned well to make some noise, specifically because of Caleb Williams. And I think what he's done all year has been nothing short of phenomenal. And I do think that he is the Heisman front runner right now. The way he's been playing and those Heisman moments that we're talking about, you know, this year there really hasn't. To me, this Heisman race this year has been crazy because no one's really pulled away. It's always, like you said, it's been those guys that had those expectations and kind of coasted through it. The CJ Strouds, you know, no one really ran out there and took it. I think tonight was the first example of somebody saying, hey, this is mine. And you saw that. You heard Kirk Herbstreit talking about it on the broadcast. You saw after the run rushing touchdown he hit the Heisman pose on the sideline. Like he's starting to get that swagger about it. And I think he really said, hey, this is mine and I want to take it. So really excited about this USC team. And again, they're playing with house money this year. And I think it's a great thing that they're exceeding expectations and they're positioning themselves to possibly make a hell of a run here. That could be something that you're going to see a couple of ESPN 30 for 30s on with Lincoln Riley coming in there and you know, bringing in a whole 25 guys of free agents and putting them together and going out there and making some noise in the college football playoff and possibly winning the whole damn thing. So real excited about it. The Pac-12 came out and showed out this year, I think more so than anyone expected. And USC handled that conference, handled that schedule, and handled every task, with the exception of the slip up at Utah, very well. So excited about this team for me. I was impressed.
Felder, last week you said TCU is a team of destiny. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but that was one of your recent thoughts about them so far that's bearing out. Do you think destiny sprinkled a little something on this Trojan crew, who I said probably only a couple weeks ago, they just started taking the name tags off in the building. Now they know each other. Now they know where each other, you know, where they can find each other. Now they got everybody's phone number in the team room. We're starting to get to watch this thing. They used to show up to the game and just pay the bill almost with exact change. Beat Cal by a touchdown, beat Arizona by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts now after watching them tonight against a really, really game Notre Dame team?
I think that this is a team that, again, they are growing together. I also think that part of growing together is this coaching staff. And Hack, I'm sure you've seen this with Parker Washington at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing it with Jordan Addison at USC, where they're hiding him. You put him in the backfield. Like literally, they had a play where you run your running back is your number one wide receiver all the way out to the left. Your number one wide receiver is just hanging out next to the quarterback, and then you run a wheel, and a linebacker's trying to cover him. And that's the stuff that I'm really loving about this USC team. I'm loving the wrinkles, the wrinkles, the spice. You mentioned does Destiny sprinkle on them? I think this is what Destiny is sprinkling on them. Is a really good coaching staff and a really good coach in Lincoln Riley that's decided, hey, you know what? Let's make it hard for everybody else. We got good guys. Whether they were here already or we got them through the portal, we got dudes.
Lincoln's always kind of done that too. I mean, even going back to his Oklahoma days, he always did that.
Going back to ECU.
Always found creative ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. But that's the thing, like, as a defensive guy, I know you guys are both offensive guys. So you're like, yeah, what can we do to make it hard? And I'm like, this is terrifying to me because I think about it as like, as a slow football player, like the idea of being like, oh, I'm coming down in flex zone to Y, and then all of a sudden there's a wide receiver there and not a tight end. I'm in trouble. This is bad for me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm licking my chops.